All right, what's up, guys? Here on another amazing episode of Eli and Mike on this beautiful day in the city of Los Angeles. Actually, I'm Rodale. We have an amazing guest who privileged us by being here on this podcast with us today,
Bless.
Jeff Hamilton. How are
Thank
you,
you
Jeff?
for having us, guys.
I
It's
appreciate
always
it.
a pleasure to see you and run into you guys.
Thank you so
Love it.
much.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
yes. We always say that good energy always ends up in the same room. So we definitely have ended up in the same room a couple of times. So blessed that you're here in the same room once again. Thank you so much.
We share the same feeling.
Thank you. Truly feel blessed today. So let's go ahead and get started. Sorry, just so excited. We're all about fashion. We do real estate and loans, but truly one thing that comes with that and us as Eli and Mike is fashion. So having you here today, definitely, I'm turning a little red, but so love it. Thank you again.
Yeah, and we appreciate it. So we had the opportunity to collaborate with Laps of Lux this about 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice to be on the cover of a magazine with you. Not on the cover, but between the magazine. What introduced you guys together? What is something that made you want to participate in that magazine?
I think, at this stage in the last 3 or 4 years, most of my networking has been coming mostly from, two things. My 40 years of me being in the business, and I've been built up such an amazing network of people, but also through my social media. I have a strong following through that. So people somewhat reach out to me for various things. And I didn't know at all about the magazine. I just met with the Paul, who's the principal and the founder, and I felt, for me, it's not about how big the magazine or the podcast is. It's whatever energy I feel, and just was very honored to be part and be featured in the magazine. I think they did an amazing job, and the fact that they not only creating a story but also able to create. Some kind of augmented reality concept on it, so which is
Love it.
which is great.
Yes, you definitely are staying with the times, with technology, with NFTs going on here. There's so many so many things we can talk about. But usually here on our show, we like to start off with speaking about kind of where you came from. I believe you're from Morocco. Is that correct?
That's correct. I'm Jewish. I was born in Morocco. I lived in Morocco for about 10, 11 years.
Beautiful.
Then I moved to France, and I lived from the age of 10 till the age of 24. Then I moved to the States.
Wow.
And then I got married when I was 19. So when I moved when I was 24, I was married with 2 kids, and I just started embarking on my adventure.
Love it. Did your inspiration start in France or Morocco or?
To be candid, I mean, my whole life, I thought I always like art, and I always felt like for my own personal, I always felt I had good taste for myself, but really my biggest dream in life was to become a CPA at the time, an accountant.
Mine too. I wanted to be an accountant, but obviously I became an agent and podcaster.
Yeah, so my father and mother were in the accounting world, so up to today I still love that. And but somewhat I was attracted to fashion, and even though I had no training at all, the only training I had was, so when I moved to America in 1980 with $6,000.
Okay.
And I just basically bought and sold, and without going through so many details, just to try to make a living and support my family. And ultimately, I became the first licensee of Guess jeans for men. And so at that time, I started a company with very low capital. Within 3 years, I was doing $75 million a year in sales.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
And I had never designed a thing in my life.
Wow.
And I became a designer just simply by necessity, because I really felt like I wanted to create something that really had my image, and I was able to send my message through my designs and my ideas, even though at the time I didn't realize it was so much. I was so much more motivated just by the mighty dollar. That's all I cared about. I really was not, I didn't think as an artist, but really I always wanted to feel that it was something that was representing me, over the years, for 40 years of more of being in the business, I always feel like the greatest compliment when somebody sees one of my jackets or some of my designs, I say, well, I love that. That looks like you. I said, well, that's my biggest compliment,
wow.
because
Love that.
I really put my energy and my soul in everything that I
My
do.
gosh. Wow.
And you're a perfect example of many people in America, they don't really give America the right process of hard work of being able to build the business correctly. You're coming from another country with this ambition and drive. Obviously you wanted to be a CPA, but then you became this so much more than that. And you're a perfect example of just this person that comes with drive, built something out of nothing. You came here with $6,000, and that's
Wow.
a lot more than some people here, or a lot less than some people, and they don't know what to do with that. And you just said, let me try something, let me make it happen. And you have created this empire in the fashion industry and collaborated with so many people that it's very empowering. Like, this is one of the main reasons why we feel that you belong here with us in this podcast, because there's so much history and so much story about you that you didn't even know what your story was going to be when you came here.
Wow.
Right.
And you took a dive. You said,
Wow.
let's go to Morocco, let's go to France, and here you are in the States. I think that
Right.
was amazing.
Wow. So basically from $6,000 to 75 million a year is what it turned into. That is just so incredible.
And that was in 1984, 85.
Wow,
So
wow.
it's,
Wow. Amazing.
What would that be? $1 billion today? Back in 1980?
probably more.
Oh
yeah.
my,
Probably
oh
more.
my God. I love it. So then can we ask you this question, Mr. Jeff? Do you come from a family of where, you come from hard times? Did you have a hard time in Morocco? Could we ask that?
I can kind of say we had a hard time. I came from a very humble family.
Mhm.
We were not by any stretch of the imagination wealthy at all. I mean, our bills were paid. My father and mother worked.
Mhm.
And which kind of really always taught me the work ethic. One of the things that I really rule my life with is hard work.
Mhm.
For me, I don't believe in any shortcuts.
Mhm.
I don't believe in procrastinating, and I don't believe in entitlement.
Mhm.
So I don't deserve anything,
Mhm.
uh, and I just want to earn everything that I get.
Wow.
I don't want anything to be handed out to me. I want to earn everything that I do, whether it's spiritually,
Mhm.
mentally, or
Wow.
or financially.
Wow, I love
love
this.
that.
I love this. I actually have another question really quick, because you're saying 40 years you've been doing this, but you literally look like you're
Yeah.
40 years old.
I just turned 69 last Saturday.
Oh my God. So like my question is like, wow, like you literally look like you're 40. Where do you get this energy from? Like, you are flying all over the world. You are working like every day. I mean, you walked in here and you're on the phone working. We're working right now.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness, where does this like energy come from? You're 69, even though I can't say that because, well,
It's just only pure passion. There's a moment in life when you realize what a God's gift that you have been given, which is the ability to work as hard as we can.
okay.
But mostly, like the most beautiful thing. There's three rules in life for me. I mean, you want to make money because you want your bills to be paid.
Mm-hmm.
You want your family to well be taken care, and you
Mhm.
want you have the luxuries of having the certain things that we have. But at the end of the day, if you have food on your table, you're a happy person. That's
Right,
number one.
Right.
Number
right,
two
right.
is the biggest gift that you can have and that God can give you. And I say God because I believe in God. But
Mhm.
but if you don't, whatever you still believe in the laws of the universe,
Yes. Yes.
is the gift to know that you're doing something that you're gifted, and that you've realized to find out where is your niche. Whether you're a filmmaker, whether you're a filmmaker, whether you're
Mhm.
a real estate agent, or whether
Mhm.
you're a mortgage broker,
Mhm.
but you want to do that, but if you're passionate about doing something like a podcaster, you wake up every morning, you cannot wait to be at the office. I always often the example of Michael Jordan. That's an easy one, right?
Right.
If Michael Jordan was not worth $3 billion and he was like the most famous person in the world,
Yes.
don't you think he'll be in his backyard right now still shooting baskets on his own?
Yeah.
I mean, you still would do it. So for us, I mean,
Yeah.
I'd like to think that if I was not making a living out of creating jackets or painting or art, I still will be creating something just for myself, for my own personal
Right.
self
Mhm.
satisfaction.
Wow.
So those are the second things. The third thing that you realize as you're getting a little bit older and more mature and more wisdom, is that you want to leave behind a legacy.
Mhm.
So you want to know that whatever work that you've done, it was not done in vain.
Amazing.
The same way, when you have somebody planted a seed on the field, and the seed grows to become a little twig. The twig becomes a trunk. The trunk becomes the leaves.
Yes.
The branches. The branch become the
Love
leaves.
this.
Then there's the fruit. But through the whole process, this is a lifetime. You might not be there to see the fruit,
Mhm.
but maybe your grandkids, maybe your great grandkids,
Right.
maybe
Wow.
the people that were inspired by you might get that. So for me, if I can say, it's the most pretentious and the most unselfish and the most humble thing at the same time to say that you think you might have a legacy, because pretentious to think, so who the f I do you think I am for me to think that I have a legacy?
Yeah.
But it's very humbling, because
Right.
I'm not going to be here to see it.
Right.
Wow.
But
Wow.
it's very important to keep on planting those seeds and building those bricks one at a time, because I'll give you an example. People know me for having designed the Kobe Bryant
Yes.
famous jacket.
Yes.
Mhm.
So when I'm no longer here, that jacket is still going to be the most famous jacket in the history of
Yes.
sports fashion.
Yes.
So
Most
my
definitely.
name will be forever associated to that. So those are the things that, and I'm not going to see the reward, but my grandkids, my great grandkids will know that their family
so
had something to do with it.
That's so beautiful.
There's so much fulfillment in that too, like knowing that you left something and people can remember you by it. I'm 40. I'm gonna be 46, so I feel like I'm already getting more wiser. So I somewhat feel like, and again, I'm not 69, but I feel like I'm tapping into that wiser area where I feel like I want to leave something for my, because I have two kids. So I do feel like that's very important for me, so that I leave some legacy. So I think that's great that you channel your energy to that passion, to make sure you just don't like do nothing. Like you're always on it and moving and active and doing things like that. So a question for you. So being that you're involved so much in so many different brands, you're collaborating with so many different people, what happens to be one of the most biggest collaborations that you believe in the top of your mind might be something that made you jump certain leaps and boundaries?
It's difficult.
Mhm.
Every dish has a different ingredient,
Wow.
so
Wow.
it doesn't matter.
Wow.
The natural ones. Me, I've been having such a strong impact with the NBA and the sports, and but really, it's just the 40 years of hard work that I've been putting in. That my relationship that I've built up with all the people that I've had. So I mean, last couple of years, of course, when you reach and you do a Supreme collaboration, or Missoni, or now we're doing a bunch of other ones. We did one.
Mhm.
We're doing one with Pharrell. We're doing some
Amazing.
with a lot of big brands,
Mhm.
Casablanca brand.
Yes.
It's like we're
Love
doing
it. Oh
we're
my
doing
God.
all the
love it.
jackets. So everyone has their own charm, his own thing.
Right.
And again, some of them are more money makers. Some of them you do it just for the legacy and
Right.
for the image,
Yeah.
for to know that you're part of it. You're in the
Wow.
mix of everything. So it's like when you're an artist. I mean, do you paint only just to sell your pieces, or you paint because you're passionate about it? It's the same kind of concept.
That is a beautiful answer, truly beautiful. And but I'm sure there's also moments where you're in awe with yourself as well. Do you have those moments, like you just said a moment ago? The NBA. I mean, at one point, their 50th anniversary, they're all wearing your jackets, and you get to stand there.
And the 75th anniversary.
And 75th. Oh my goodness, I can't even breathe. And so, if
Really,
I can't breathe, like, how do you feel when you're
You-
standing there, just
you-
seeing your work?
it used to be a time where I used to be, but I really just, it might sound maybe like I'm BSing you, but
No.
I try not to be. I'm very excited when I see something. And even last week, somebody posted a jacket and they did a whole ceremony about me, and they're mentioning my name. Or
Yes.
it's just like really excites me, but it's just like in awe of myself. I am not, because I really truly believe.
Mhm.
I don't believe that anything that I'm capable to do is due to myself.
Mhm.
I believe in, like, to be more again spiritual. I believe like I'm simply an antenna that's passing on
Wow.
a message from
Wow.
from the universe. That's all. And
course.
I try my best to do that, and I try to do my best to promote myself
Mhm.
in order for me to reach our higher levels to
Wow.
everything that we create.
Wow, and you can do that
Yeah.
through your art, through your clothing, because you're actually putting your energies into that.
Right.
Wow.
And I love how
Wow.
you're so grounded. I mean, you're so connected with so many people within our own network
Mhm.
that sometimes we're like, oh, he knows him. Oh, we know
Uh-huh.
him.
Mhm.
So it's so great that you're so honest about your life and you're open to all types of people around you. And you're right, you're not about the money. It's you, maybe at one point all of us have gotten to those steps as we grew, but I feel like now you are more about collaboration, more about building with people. Money isn't the pleasure anymore. Now it's just
I want to make it clear. I mean,
Mhm.
listen, I love money.
Mhm.
I work for money.
Yes.
I love luxury.
Yes.
I'm not saying I'm still
Right.
motivated. I mean, this
Right.
is one of the energies that I'm very, very putting the effort. But I won't sell my soul for money.
There you go.
Yes.
Let's say
yes.
if,
yes.
if a big box store comes
Right.
in and say we're going to buy 200,000 units from you and it makes X millions of dollars, but it's going to destroy my image or my name. I just don't want to. I'm not that much in a hurry for that. I have enough for me just to do the things I want to do and be. I like to be true to myself, and the more true to yourself you are, the more authentic you become, and that's why I like people to say that people know me and because I'm
Yes.
reachable. I mean,
Right.
I said
Right.
you can go on Instagram, you
Uh-huh.
DM me, I will answer you
Yes.
back. I mean, it
Right.
doesn't matter. Or my
Yes.
email is on my Instagram, so
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
reachable.
Definitely. Yeah, you gave us your card and it was your information, your email, and just like on Instagram, it's so amazing,
Yeah.
you know. Do you feel that this energy that you hold, is it something that has come over time? Is it something you've just always had, maybe again from your family, where you came from?
There's no doubt that it comes from your heritage and your education, your religion, your the way you've been guided by your family. But it's how much can you uncover yourself, and how far can you push the boundaries of whatever you have. I mean, the biggest role, the biggest mission I have in life right now is to maximizing my potential at all time. And and at 69, I have to admit, I think about it, and it's not something that that I don't do not want not to be here. But the idea is my biggest regret will be to be on my deathbed and said, you know what, I should have done this and I should have done that. So try to do is I still want to go on and move on and try to maximize. That's why I'm still working 12, 15 hours a day right now, 7 days a week. I for me, there's no crime that's there's no stone unturned. There's not, I really am. And it's kind of a blessing and a curse because sometimes I wish the brand was bigger than Jeff Hamilton. And I don't like to speak in the third person like that, when I'm talking about the brand. But right now I'm bigger than the brand because my energy is so much involved in it. So there's a point where I kind of need to let go and let the brand live of its own, because when I'm not here, I want the live to live on.
Wow.
Yes, love that so much.
I want to go a little bit backwards. So you come from Morocco and then you went to France. Was there something back in those days where you feel like there was a reason why the States was the place for you versus building the business out there?
First of all, I left Morocco. I love Morocco, and we just finished a documentary about my roots in Morocco.
Oh, wow.
By great director David Serrero. And we so basically we kind of like look through the origins of where what really triggered me for me to become a designer. If I became a
Amazing.
designer by accident,
Yes.
but I still had an inspiration.
Of course.
What was the colors? What was
Yes.
the architecture I saw in Morocco? The way
Mm.
people were treated. Everything is
Mm.
just a
Oh,
melting
wow.
pot of how you become.
Mm.
And I
Got
had to
it.
leave Morocco, unfortunately, in '67 because being Jewish, there was conflicts in the Middle East. So my parents were worried about living in a Muslim country, even though
Okay.
Moroccan Islamic Moroccans are the most beautiful people in the
Uh-huh,
world,
uh-huh. Definitely.
and Jewish and Muslim and Arabs get along fantastically well, and
Mhm.
I love Morocco, my favorite place
Yes.
in the
Yes.
world.
Mhm.
So we moved to France, and the reason why we moved to France because we spoke the language. We
Oh,
spoke
wow.
Spanish and French,
Mm.
Mm.
and so it was a more natural thing to do. I used to, study in France until the age of 10. I spoke French and Spanish,
Mm.
but myself, I always had a dream of America. I mean, I had the American dream. I don't know. It's just like I love sports and I love the
Mhm.
culture and I love the
Mhm.
music and I love the college T-shirts and
Mhm.
the NFL. I didn't know
Yeah.
anything about it. I just like American, and I just
Love it.
so basically when I came to America in 1980 with a wife and two kids, I came completely illegal.
Oh, wow.
I basically crashed it. I mean, I came
Yeah.
completely mojado, and I came just with a lot of dreams and
Right.
knowing that I had a very good education because I
Okay.
was a good student
Yes.
and I had great, I had potential to do other things, but I really wanted to go out but I also was a hustler. I mean, I
Yeah.
was hustling and I
Mhm.
wanted to work and
Yes.
and I only really cared about money and making sure my family was taken
Right.
care of.
Yes.
And like I said, within 3 years, I mean, I realized the American dream, like how many people can do that, but it's just,
Yeah.
it felt like, it felt great, but also it felt, hindsight, it almost came too quickly because I really felt like
Wow.
I was entitled to it.
Okay.
And entitlement, for me, my definition of entitlement
Mhm,
is I deserve it because
Okay.
I work hard.
Okay.
And I often use like an analogy, like, when you go to, and I can put it together, when you go to Yosemite Park and then you can see the Grand Old Glory, the big tree, the big sequoia tree that's
Mm-hmm.
hundreds of thousands of years, and then the cars go under it,
Yes. Yes.
If you take that tree and you chop it up and you're going to get millions and millions of matches.
Mm-hmm.
It only takes one match to burn that whole tree.
Yeah.
So that's how fragile we are.
Wow.
So and also if you entitle,
Got it.
it feels like it's you that's doing it.
Mhm.
If you don't realize that something bigger than you is controlling you,
Oh my
we are
gosh.
nothing. We
Wow.
could be gone tomorrow morning.
Wow.
So true. And,
That is so
and that's such a
powerful. Oh my
blessing.
God.
Like you said, I mean, it's such a blessing to be able to wake up every morning and be like, I'm alive. I have another day in this earth.
Exactly.
I'm sure you've had your days when you wake up and you feel the same way.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really deep.
Yes, and also, it seems like everything so far has been so amazing in your life, and all the things that have been happening, and the energies, the people you're running into. One thing we do like to ask as well is, was there a time where you felt defeated and you just maybe didn't want to get out of bed, and you're like, I just don't want to do this anymore?
Sure. There was. I went through a very difficult time for because I made it up so big, and then I stopped with Guess Jeans as the first licensee of Guess for Men, and
Okay.
and I started Jeff Hamilton, which was kind of
Mhm.
like my namesake because
Mhm.
people knew me under that name, and I started, again, totally by accident because I used to wear jackets riding Harleys with James Caan and Billy Idol and Guns N' Roses and all those guys,
Amazing.
and I really felt like when people put one of my jackets, I mean, they felt they were 2 feet taller,
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
felt like that comfort and confidence
Yes.
that you build up, and which is why I myself did that. And as an artist,
Wow.
and all that fell into place naturally. Everything was instinct.
Wow.
I felt like that a jacket, I mean, I design pants and shoes and
Mhm,
shirts and whatever and socks if I have to. But
okay.
but the jacket has been the focus of my designing career because as an artist, I felt that was the best way to express. That was the best canvas for me to tell a story. At the end of the day, whatever we do in life, whether you're selling a house, whether you're doing a podcast, whether I'm making a jacket, we're telling a story.
Yes. Yes.
And it's how well you tell a story and how many people can you reach that can relate. You only all you want to do is touch that sensitive nerve in to that person that's going to connect with you. And if you're able to do that, this is where your message comes across the best way. That's where you become successful, whether it's financially or socially, because you're able to connect with people.
Wow.
Wow.
Love that.
I have an interesting question
Love
for
that,
you.
love
So
that.
you've created a lot of amazing art pieces. So do you have a favorite jacket that you've created, or maybe at least 2 or 3 of them that you just either don't wear or
And
you
these
have
are hard questions.
Yeah, these are very hard. Or it's just hanging in your house somewhere. You're like, I love you, but you just don't touch it.
You know, I've done designs that I think that just much more intricate and much more complicated. I'm very proud sometimes when I look at it, and then I'm trying to buy back a lot of my pieces that I
Oh,
did in the
wow.
late 80s. And actually, I found one piece actually yesterday in Berlin, which I'm trying to buy back from,
my
from the guy.
Oh my God.
Wow.
And I said, wow,
Good
I
luck.
just cannot believe that 30 years ago I was able to do something like that. You know, we didn't have computer graphic
Mhm.
artists. We didn't have AI for sure. We didn't have Instagram. We
Right.
didn't have any social media, but yet the message was across. And I remember that jacket in 1989 was $4,000. It's
Wow.
not like it was still an expensive jacket, but I
Amazing.
said, how did I come up with that stuff? You know,
Mhm.
but
Oh
for
my
me,
God,
I have a
amazing.
soft spot for. Everybody thinks I'm going to say the Kobe jacket because
Right.
it has been voted last year the most famous piece of fashion in sports history.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yes,
But-
yes, yes.
For me, it was the first jacket I made for Michael Jordan. Like not the first one, the one when he
Got
won
it.
in 1998, because that was one of my personal proudest moments as a fan, as a kid, you know,
Uh-huh.
dreaming to be with all those, you know, even the 50 greatest players, being around all those legends,
Wow.
and not only growing up in Paris and having those people's posters in my wall, whether it was Will Chamberlain or Jerry West or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
Yes.
Lawson, and then not only creating stuff for them, but also being their friends.
Yeah.
And me going to their homes
Wow.
and eating with them.
Yes.
I was with Michael Jordan 5-6 weeks ago,
Oh my
having
goodness.
lunch with him in Florida.
Love
So for me,
this.
it's like every day I meet somebody like that. You know, I feel like I'm a 2-year-old kid that walks in for the first time in Disneyland, and that feeling that you have, like, and you see Mickey Mouse, and I still have that
Yeah.
feeling, and
Wow,
I
love
never want to
that.
lose that feeling when
I
people
love
say, "Oh,
that.
you know what? Oh,
Yes.
I know them."
Yes.
No, it's not true. Myself,
Right.
I'm still
Yes.
I'm still a groupie
Mhm,
if
mhm.
because
That's me.
I admire the energy and
Yes.
that they bring to the table,
Right.
and their passion of their craft and whatever they're doing, whether it's LeBron or Kobe or
Mhm.
Travis Scott or
Mhm.
Rihanna. I just like I'm
Mhm.
still in awe because they have
Yes.
so much amazing energy. You know,
Wow.
the one thing for sure, they're not where they are just because they are full of it.
Right.
I mean, they really have a talent and they have an aura, and
Right.
and again, like they're able to have that message that can resonate to
Hit that
to,
one
to a
nerve.
big audience.
Yes, definitely.
Is anybody, like, maybe the audience, or is there a website? What if somebody wants to buy your materials? Are you custom designing everything individually yourself to this day, or is there?
I design everything myself, 100%. Yeah,
Wow.
but I have a team. You know, I don't know how to sew a button to a jacket.
Yes.
So I don't know how to sew a button.
Right.
I don't do
Right.
any manufacturing myself, but I design every single thing, all my
Wow.
art, all my packaging, all my
Mhm.
jackets, everything. So I concurrently work right now over 200 projects at the same time.
Oh my
So I'm
gosh.
basically like juggling all those projects in the air
Wow.
concurrently. And some of it could
Oh
be
my God.
one jacket for future. The other one could be a 3,500 jacket for an NBA team. So we never know
Amazing.
which one. And it's just, and one doesn't take priority over the other. It's whatever, it's whatever it's the most exciting to do.
Love this. So many
Wow.
gold nuggets that we're getting
Sheesh.
from all this conversation. Thank you so much. And taking it back just a little bit. So that Michael Jordan jacket, the red one, right? The Bulls. That one is also very epic. When I think of you, that's what I think of. And I know most people do think of the Kobe jacket, but that one, it truly is. Like you said, there's so much energy in it. And I know the Kobe one too, but I just feel
We
that.
just finished one we just did the one for Casablanca, which might be the most expensive one. One of the most expensive one actually that we did, which also that was a very proud moment for me as a designer, was my collaboration with Supreme. So, I had to kind of not argue, but I convinced them that they really need to sell it for $15,000 a jacket, and they wouldn't do it.
Oh wow.
They wanted to sell it for $10,000 a jacket, which was still a lot of money for a jacket. So they sold 43 jackets. It took 21 seconds for them to sell them all.
At
online.
15, right?
At 10.
Okay,
10,000.
okay.
Long story short, 8-9 months ago, one appeared in the market and resold for
Oh
$146,000.
my goodness.
Amazing.
So another
Wow.
jacket that we did for Suge Knight, from Snoop, Suge Knight did for Snoop, just appeared in an auction for $250,000.
Oh my goodness.
So there is a lot of people that really know that we are in that cusp between art, where art meets fashion,
Yes.
and I love that space, So
Yeah.
and to make sure everything, because there's so many people try to copy and
Yes.
Right.
but to be as authentic as I can be, I personally sign every single jacket, even if it's a jacket on my website that retails for $800 or $700. I still physically sign every single piece
Amazing.
that I create.
Amazing. And again, going back one more time, I think that was the word authentic, because it's fascinating to hear your story right here, everyone that's watching it, because everything is like starting to come out. Like you said, you lived in Morocco, you saw different colors that we're not seeing here, different cultures that we're not seeing here. And then you come and your mind is able to create these jackets that nobody is thinking about. People aren't just putting like huge logos all over jackets. They have to be certain type of leather. They have to be certain type of colors. All of this is, it's just fascinating to hear where all this is coming from. And also to hear you state that, all these people you're working with, it comes from hard work. And that's exactly what you're doing as well.
Right.
Because I know in this generation, there are individuals who could, do a video and you go viral and maybe you make, millions of dollars, and that's still work for sure. But again, it's different type of work.
To each his own. I mean, anybody can happy the way I'm not telling. I don't have a roadmap of how anybody should live their life.
Right,
I mean,
right,
I know
right.
I have a roadmap of how to live my life, and if I can inspire anybody by doing what I do, I win, because
Yes.
I'm able to share. But it's okay. See, people, but I don't believe in shortcuts myself. I don't. You also have drug dealers that sell 10 kilos of cocaine and make, I don't know how much they make, but I mean they 100 kilos or whatever. They make hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. I have no idea.
Right.
But and it takes an hour of work. But everything has a price.
Right.
Does that
everything.
money carries itself? If somebody makes $1 million in one day, what are they going to do with it? Are they going to buy a
Right.
home? Are they going to
Very true.
build up some stuff for their legacy? Or are they going to
Yes.
go and buy a $200,000 and watch with diamonds? So without being stereotyped. So hard work, money that you make with hard work lasts. Because you know the value of it, you know that you don't find it on the ground, and in a way, I'm a little guilty of it myself, because when I was a young kid, I made so much money so quickly, I felt it was going to be there forever. And I'd like to answer your previous question. I went through a very difficult time.
Okay. Yes.
Once I went very high, and I sold my company, and I thought I was invincible, and then I
Okay.
realized, I'm getting old. I was getting old, and nothing was happening. And I was trying ventures and losing money, and I was doing this, and people taking advantage of you and being naive and trying to be generous. And ultimately, God blessed me with me to allow me to come back. I had given up like 5-6 years ago. I had given up. I didn't want to do
No
anything
way.
anymore. I didn't want to work anymore. I
Wow.
just didn't want to. It's not that I didn't want to work, but I
Mhm,
just
mhm, mhm.
didn't find my groove.
Yes.
And then right before COVID, I got into a really bad car accident, and I was in a hospital,
oh
and
my goodness.
I had 3 or 4 surgeries,
No
and
way. Wow.
and suddenly but yet I still had 1.5 million followers on Instagram, which I
Mhm.
didn't understand why.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it was only me putting old content,
Mm.
and then suddenly I had people start to call me left and right. A$AP Rocky called me. I didn't even know who he was, to be
Uh-huh.
honest. I mean, I knew
Yeah,
I knew
yeah.
the name, but I didn't.
Okay, yes, yes.
And I want to meet you. You're a legend in the game. And so, legend? I make jackets.
No, you are.
That's all I do,
Oh my
And
God.
then another group, a hip hop group like Dipset, come in and say, "Well, we're gonna write a song about you
Oh
again."
my God.
But they already mentioned my name. I've been mentioned in 20 songs, but even Jay-Z mentioned me in one of his songs.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
loves it.
he said, "I
Loves it.
just want to write a song called Jeff Hamilton." And I said, "Yeah, sure, great." And my mind said, "Why would you?"
And this is like all when you're in the hospital, or
no,
like
no, no.
that
I was
time.
only 5 days when I was
Mhm.
out, but I was out and I was
Mhm.
on medicine. I was not
Okay.
feeling well.
You look,
and-
Yeah.
you look completely put together. So
I'm
hopefully you
completely
look
put together. Yeah, I am completely.
Okay, good.
I love it.
Good, I'm
Okay.
glad.
completely-
No,
I'm,
yeah,
I'm-
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
all okay right now.
Mhm, mhm.
Fantastic.
So I think and act and like I'm 25 years old.
There
so.
you go. Okay.
But
'cause
that's
it shows. It
that's
shows.
great energy though. Saying that alone, many people can't say, "Oh, I feel like I'm 50." You feel like you're 25, and
Yes.
therefore you're giving
Right.
out that
You can see
youthful
me.
energy.
You can see me in a club at 3 o'clock in the
Love
morning.
it.
I'll
Oh
be.
my God. So good.
I'll be fine. Yeah,
Oh
so-
my
I
God.
think we're gonna go clubbing with you.
No, yeah, yeah. And so that you were, it was COVID. You were in a car accident.
So,
had-
so, the, no, so the,
Yeah.
let me continue.
Mhm,
Sorry to
mhm.
interrupt you. So I
No,
was
it's
going
fine.
that, and then suddenly, I said, let me just go back. So I didn't even have an office. So I went to a friend of mine's office, and I sat down and I said, let me do whatever I have to do. I was not doing any jackets. I was still more involved into the art and hustling and doing this and that.
Mhm.
And then A$AP Rocky again
Mhm.
calls me and say, I want you to make me a jacket. I say, I cannot make you a jacket within a week. I said, but on the other hand, if you want to, I'll loan you my personal jacket that I wore when Kobe was wearing the trophy, which which is the first jacket that was ever created.
Right.
I created my first jacket before I made the other ones.
Oh my God.
and,
wow.
and parentheses, when you see that picture
Yeah.
in certain angles, on the reflection of the thing, you can see me.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
So-
That's so cool.
So,
I'm gonna go look it up. Actually, I think I remember it.
I'll show you.
remember.
You can see the shadow. You
Okay,
cannot
yeah.
see me clearly.
Mhm.
But and I have that picture on my phone. So
Oh
so
my God,
so that was so I basically ended up giving him my picture of Kobe. So he
Wow.
goes on stage at Brooklyn Center for Yams Day,
Mhm.
and every single rapper is there. Now
Mhm.
I'm backstage the whole time. I had made jackets for Rihanna. That's why he just started going out with
Mm.
Rihanna.
Oh,
So
yes.
I'm with Rihanna.
That's it.
I'm
Okay.
Drake is there.
Yes.
2 Chainz is
Oh
there.
my God.
Virgil Abloh is.
Loves-
Everybody's there. And
yes. And
Jim
Jeff
Jones.
Hamilton.
and everybody's like praising me. And I honestly I don't even feel good. Physically I don't feel good. I mean I just went and dyed my hair super black. I had a beard that was like that. I said before going, let me just shave it. I still had my cast in my hand.
Oh
I,
wow.
I didn't know where to fit. So I didn't want to go.
Mhm.
But A$AP said to me, you know what? I don't care. You're coming.
Okay.
So he sent me a first class ticket, sent me a plane, a hotel, a limousine to pick me up, and I went.
Mhm.
And I was with them. I went on stage
Okay.
with them. I mean,
Loves
the whole
it.
thing. So and
Yes.
suddenly everybody's just
Uh-huh.
bam, bam, Jeff Hamilton,
Okay.
Jeff Hamilton. And
Yeah.
I had no idea why. I really did not understand. I only believe that it's a blessing from God.
Okay.
And then that
Okay.
was January 14th. Unfortunately, January 26th, Kobe passed away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, suddenly,
Wow.
that was, I always call it the blessing from Kobe, that Kobe blessed me. I still feel the blessing from Kobe of what happened to me, because suddenly everybody started putting the pieces together. Now, a 15-year-old kid, they were not born when Kobe won that
Mhm.
championship, but they knew through Instagram, they knew that jacket, and they started putting it together that a guy called Jeff Hamilton put it together. They started following me. So I started building up 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 a month.
Mhm.
My Instagram started building like crazy,
Mhm.
and everybody started wanting to buy that jacket.
Mhm.
I didn't know how to produce that jacket anymore. I knew how to produce it, but I
Mhm.
didn't have the. I was a one-man show,
Yes.
so basically, start quoting a high price. I called the NBA.
Right.
I said, "This is what's going on.
Yes.
So just go ahead and do it." And I started getting it, and then the bug was in. Then all the companies start coming in, and Converse came in and said, "We want to do collaboration with you." And this
Converse
one, we
and-
want to do collaboration with you.
Mhm.
This brand, this
Wow.
brand. And then I never saw back. And it's been a rocket ship since January
Wow.
26, 2020 till today. Even within COVID, it just kept on going. Because as COVID passed away, then during COVID, there was a documentary of The Last Dance of Michael Jordan, where
Uh-huh.
you see Michael Jordan wearing my
Yes.
jackets all
Yeah.
over,
All
and
that.
you see me on the documentary.
Yes,
And then
yes.
right after that, during COVID, the Lakers win the championship. At that point, I just got back into the NBA, and I'm the one. Before they won, I remember when the Lakers won the championship. I called the NBA. I said, there's no doubt that in the history of basketball, the three most iconic, I'm not saying the best players, but the three most iconic players are Kobe, Michael, Kobe, and LeBron. No
Yes.
doubt, right?
There you go.
Yes.
So I said, I was in a locker room with Michael
Yes.
to all his games. I've been to Kobe. I want to be with LeBron because LeBron in Miami and Cleveland, it's not the same thing as the Lakers.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I could not do it because they were playing in a bubble and everything was different.
That's right.
But the next day I was with him. I
Oh
was
my
at his house and
Wow.
then gave him the jacket.
No
But
way.
when he won the championship, I opened a website 2 days before, and
Uh-huh.
in the last second, I pressed a button and to send the post. Next month, we did a few $100,000 in sales of just Lakers merchandise.
Oh my
And then
gosh,
I was by
congratulations.
myself.
Wow.
And then suddenly I started building up like more
Of
teams
course.
and more stuff.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh
like
my
I said, it has not stopped, and it's just
Wow.
let's keep on building and
Wow.
loving it. And
Yes.
the harder I work, the more work I have.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yes. And it seems like these moments of like triumph and like just succeeding
Mhm.
has been like times where it was just like a one-man show. And then you add your teams, of course, and of course that's gonna build
It's still
you,
a
but-
one-man show.
Right.
They can't do it without you, right?
You
Yeah.
know,
He
I
needs to
love
do
it.
that.
I
No,
love
it's
it.
okay. No, I have a
Yeah.
great team. So,
And
but
that-
I really,
right.
but it's just,
Yeah.
it's very time consuming. People only, I often tell people like you don't look at me through Instagram. I mean, I appreciate this is like, it's like looking at me with makeup and with the
Mhm.
beautiful lighting
Yeah,
all around.
right,
but
right.
yeah,
Yes. Same.
come and see me working because
There you go.
my head is buried and
Wow.
I go out, I do things, and I just go
Mhm.
home. And sometimes I stay home on my computer till 2, 3 o'clock. Sometimes I stay all night working if I have to, because I have to make sure things get done. I'm like I said, I'm not a procrastinator, so I don't.
Mm-hmm.
So what's
Amazing,
what's
amazing,
the
amazing.
so I'm curious. I'm gonna ask you this question. So I'm curious, and I think I know the answer. What is the next thing in your mind that you want to do in your life? Maybe in the next 5 years. Let's not go too far. Maybe from here to you turn 75. What do you expect to have another resolve or a result by then?
Let me get directly to the point, and I'll tell
Mhm.
you, to the last day of my life, I'm going to be this way. That's the way. I'm not changing. I'm not giving up. If I get $500 million, if I 200 million, if I get $2 billion, it doesn't change.
Wow.
I'm still, I'm driven by love, passion, and creativity.
Mm.
The day I lose my passion, my creativity, I don't want to. I mean, I love it. I mean, I just love what I love to do. And like I said, if I was Michael Jordan and I didn't get paid to play basketball, I'd still be shooting basketballs in the backyard, in my backyard.
Love that.
Wow.
Oh my God. So amazing. So touching. Wow.
Well, I know it's been very informative. Like you've given us so many golden nuggets. Like there's
So
so much of this that some of it I've experienced and some of it I know that's still for the future for us to build. And you said your name, Jeff Hamilton, is your brand. Just like Eli and Mike, we used our name for the brand.
Sure,
so
of
people
course.
never forget your name, right?
And right before we ask this question, because we have this will be the last question before we let you go for today. But can you tell us about your logo? I really want to know what your inspiration was for your logo.
so we have many different logos over the years.
Mhm.
Uh, I always wanted something because at the end of the day, I'm an immigrant,
Mhm.
and I'm very passionate about my country, my new country,
Mhm.
and I love America, but the right America,
Mhm. Yes.
and
Yes. Yes.
so I always wanted to have. I've always been very inspired by Americana. My original logo was an eagle, and I
Mhm.
always had eagles in my logos. And then I
Yes.
used another thing with different wings and different
Right.
things. But
Right.
the logo that I created, this logo I created probably in 1994 when I separated from a company that was basically trying to steal my company.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and I've had a lot of those in my life,
Mm.
unfortunately.
My goodness.
Um,
I can imagine.
so I created it has a double American flag,
Yes.
which is I'm very proud of it, and people recognize it, and so I've
Wow.
been staying true to it.
Yes.
But now with my worldwide expansion, we're opening 100 stores in China
Oh
this
my gosh.
this year. We're going to the
Congratulations.
Middle East. We do opening
Yes.
stores in Europe.
Oh my goodness.
So it's kind of like I'm almost trying to stay away from that logo and maybe kind of converting a little bit more and go back to
Mm.
my OG logo for
Love
certain
it.
markets because
Okay.
I think people still love Americana stuff,
Yeah.
but sometimes like markets in China, I just want to be sensitive to
Mhm.
the
Love
the, the,
this.
the political climates and make
Wow.
sure that we are always respectful of everyone's culture.
Yes, I
That
love
makes a lot
that
of
so
sense.
much. Amazing, amazing. Now we know where the logo came from, and I've always wanted to know that, and I got to ask you today. So blessed to hear that, and
Yeah,
thank
well,
you for today. And
Yeah, and Jeff, thank you so much for being here. We really
Thank you.
appreciate
Honored
you.
to be with you guys.
Guys, seriously, Jeff, follow Jeff Hamilton. You probably already do. He's got 7+ million followers. So honestly, a blessing. We've honestly have out so much that we need to get going on.
yes,
So much work to do.
So
Maybe
inspired.
we'll do it
so
another
much work.
time.
Yes,
have to.
Loves it.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you
Thank
guys.
you so much.
Thank you.